is Jenna Kravitz. Thank you. And I am going to share briefly my story with you and tell you a little bit about this company before I present to you the other leaders in the area who are so excited to come up. So for those of you that have heard my story before, I hope that it'll be a little bit better this time. I've given you some visual aids here. I started this journey in October of 2013, much like many of you did. I ordered products from a friend after she posted on Facebook, right? And basically we got on the phone, she was brand new, and she said, let's do this solution tool. And I said, just send me what you think will work. And she sent me Redefine with the macro exfoliator. And within 2 weeks, I had noticed a gigantic change in my skin. So much so that my mom and my aunt and a couple of friends at work had asked me about it and said they wanted to buy it. So I was going to go ahead and send them over to Julie in Florida, who I bought the products from. And I had told Julie that. And she called me one day when I was sitting at a professional conference and said to me, before I sell this to your family and friends, do you have any interest in working for this company? And promptly I said, no thank you. Much like Debbie and everyone else. See, the thing is that I'm busy, like really, really busy. Professionally, I'm a clinical neuropsychologist at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. I've been a professor at Pepperdine University for the past 10 years. I have been a clinical researcher studying Alzheimer's disease and the spectrum of memory disorders at UCLA for the past 13 years. Thank you. I have a small private practice, and I work for a well-known television physician a couple times a week by the name of Dr. Drew. So I was busy, but on a personal note, I was even busier. I was a newly single mom of 4-year-old twins at the time, my boy and girl up there, and I was the president of the PTA. So when I tell you that I did not even have a moment to pee alone, I did not have a moment to start a new business. But I promptly hung up the phone. I called Julie and I said, you know what, send me some information. Julie sent me an email, and I looked it over, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And a couple days later, my former husband had come over to drop off our children. See this handsome guy right here? And despite our personal differences, my former husband and I are very close friends. He also happens to be a top bankruptcy professional in the country. So his job is to look at very large companies going into bankruptcy and decide whether or not they're financially healthy or not to survive. So he said, don't get into anything until I look into this, Jenna. And I said, that's fair. He came back the very next day. He plopped himself on my couch and he said, Jenna, this company is going to be a gold mine. You have to do this, and you have to do it right now. So I went upstairs. I took the 7 minutes it takes to enroll. I bought the biggest kit that we have because go big or go home, right? And I joined Rodan & Fields. Side note, I made that initial investment back in the first 10 days of this business. Yeah. So I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew 3 simple facts to be true. I knew, number 1, that if these doctors could create one multi-billion-dollar brand in an acne market, then they could definitely create another one. Number 2, I knew there was a ceiling as to how much I could make working in medicine and academia, and I dreamt of a lifestyle that was going to cost me more than that. And number 3, thank you. And number 3, I knew that if I didn't at least try it, I'd probably regret it, and I didn't want to see all the Facebook posts of all my friends trying it and me having not tried it. So I jumped right in. But, sorry guys. I would say that, let's see if this thing works. I don't think this thing's working. Ravina, can you help me out? Sorry about that. I would say that the number 1 question that I get from everybody I know is why? Why do you do this business? And to be very honest, the reason that I joined is very different from the reason why I stand here today, 2.5 years later. This is my carpool line. I know, you're like, why do you have a picture of a carpool line? I'm gonna give you the 30-minute, yeah. I'm gonna give you the 30-second backstory here. I was born and raised right here in the Valley in Los Angeles by an amazing woman who was a single mother. My brother and I never wanted for anything. We went to private schools, we had no student loans, we had nice toys, and everything we ever wanted was provided for us. But the cost of my mom being a single parent was that she worked a lot. When we were younger, she worked in downtown Los Angeles for her family's business, and when we were older, she went to school to become a paralegal, and then became the dean of that school. So my overachiever genes are genetic. But the cost of my mom being a single mom was that she missed some things. And when I was younger, I have so many great memories, but the one memory that I have today that still sticks with me is that my mom never made the carpool line. And that every day after school, I would go outside and I would look at this line of cars in the 80s, and I would briefly look over the cars and just hope that maybe my mom's Ford Explorer was in that line that day. But it rarely was, because my mom was too busy working to provide for all of us. So my nanny would walk my brother and I home, and every day I would hope that maybe her car was in that line. So when I became a mother almost 7 years ago, I decided that the one thing that I was committed to was that line. But life happens, guys. Life happens. I found myself in the middle of a divorce that I didn't choose, and I did what any mother would do at that point to make sure her lifestyle didn't change, and that was work more. And as I was driving home one day, it hit me. It hit me that history was repeating itself, because the only person who had the privilege of picking up my babies from the carpool line was my nanny. Much like my nanny did when I was a kid. And then I knew something had to change. The story could not end this way. History could not repeat itself. And guys, that is when Rodan & Fields fell into my lap. I joined this business because I wanted to get a discount on the products, and I thought that maybe I could make $500 a month selling this to my mom and my aunt and my 2 friends at work. True story. But the universe had a bigger plan for me, and it was the best gift of all, because the truth of the matter is that I don't need this business. I didn't need this business. What I needed was the opportunity to do it all. I needed to be a neuropsychologist and a professor and a media expert and a private practitioner, and I needed to be the carpool blind mom, right? In 2 years, my team is over 800 people. I've earned